Hello, welcome to Cosmic Love Tarot. I hope you're all well. Thank you so much for the comments and the likes and shares. I really do appreciate it. I really do. Okay. I really felt I was going to say compelled to come in and do another reading. I didn't, and I'm going to be really honest with you here. I didn't really want to do a twin flame. I didn't want to do a twin flame reading for some reason. I wanted to do a reading for where you are at in the separation. Maybe we will end up going down that path, I don't know at the moment. And as you can see, I got different cards out. Being an energy tarot card reader, the energy that I've picked up is about a twin flame, and it is about the twin flame of why did you connect? Okay, and like I said, I didn't really want to go down that path. I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't want to do it, but I just felt like I don't want to do it. But the divine has asked me to do it because there's something very significant, and the reason being, people that are as connected into a twin flame frequency, it's all to do with their own self awareness. It's about really coming into union within themselves. And so it was something that was really necessary. It's really important to understand the energies of what's actually happening and why it was happening the way it's happened. Okay, so I'm just going to go with it then. And I'm going to try and stay a little bit more focused on the masculine energy, the feminine energy, and why they both connected and what was mirrored and what was actually broken from that relationship. And then if it's needed, I'm going to go for what's for tea, what lies beneath, and then maybe shadow. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so yeah, we'll start. I'll start now with the bowl for the vibration. I hope you're all well. I hope you're all good and life is good for you. So let's clear out any negative energy that's going on, maybe around me or maybe within the collective. Let's clear out the energy. I ask Archangel Michael to protect our energy, bringing only love and light with this reading, with this connection of a twin flame journey. Thank you. It's very light. Yeah, it's very light. I'm looking at if you see that. Okay, everything is all like, it feels, I don't even know where that is coming from actually. Can you see that light? I'm not sure where that's coming from, but there is just something about that is bringing me that acknowledgement of it's okay. It's okay. It's okay with the reading that I'm going to be doing. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to go for first is the I feel that what I'm going to go first is the I think they're called messy. I don't know, something messy. I can't remember what it's called actually. But we're going to go with anyway. What was the connection with the divine masculine, or with the male energy, the counterpart, or the catalyst? Because it's all on a 3D. Now, if you've read my bio, in my bio, I have explained that the work that I do, and I do tend to work between the 3D density to the 5D vibration. Even though I'm a diamond crystal light practitioner, my energies can fluctuate all the time and it can keep on changing. My readings will change constantly depending on what I'm picking up. And like I said, I felt like I didn't want to go onto the Twinflame. I felt like I wanted to go onto the 3D, but maybe that's where I'm going to go anyway. So maybe that's what it's all about, but I've got to start somewhere. So maybe that is exactly where I'm going. So to start off with, the connection that you once had with what you felt was it feels like an intense pull towards something, towards someone. I'm kind of feeling of the feminine, but let's go with the masculine right now. Okay, let's just tune into the masculine energy. What was the connection for the masculine energy? What was the connection for the masculine energy? For the masculine energy. What was the connection for the feminine energy? Okay, and what was mirrored between the two? Okay, and what broke the relationship? Okay, the energy that's governing all of this is I choose me. Self-love, emotional maturity, and a clean break. Okay, this is what's governing this experience. Okay, so for the masculine, what did the masculine, what was the connection for the masculine, and what the masculine felt? It felt like for the masculine, it wasn't committed. For the masculine, it was a very kind of emotional, on-off kind of energy. It wasn't committed. It never planned to be committed anyway. It was just a kind of, the energy that I'm picking up was a player energy. Didn't know any different. Back and forth energy, just back and forth. It's only used to back and forth with no commitments. Nothing, no depth to it. Nothing to confess to it. That's the energy I'm picking up. It feels like doesn't need to explain itself, doesn't need, it's an energy that I'm picking up, didn't need to explain itself at all. It was just it feels like fly by night kind of energy. It feels like, I can't even say that it's an emotionally closed down energy, because I don't feel it's that. I feel it's just emotional, kind of up in the air, go with the flow. Go with the flow. Yeah, I'll just leave that like that. Just up in the air, go with the flow. Emotional kind of roller coaster. It feels to me that this energy, that the masculine energy was connecting into, it was connecting into its own player energy. It didn't feel any kind of connection anyway, but it didn't at the beginning. It didn't feel that at all, okay? So for the feminine, what was the feminine connection in this connection? Okay. In this connection that the feminine felt that I'm picking up the energy that the feminine may have experienced. This masculine coming into their dream state, or for the feminine to become aware of this masculine, or the feminine was brought, it was brought into their awareness, the feminine awareness of remembering something. It may be a remembering of something, of a thought or a feeling, of some kind of connection with this masculine energy. That's the energy that I'm picking up. It's like something from a 5D came in to show the feminine something that the feminine did not understand, didn't know, didn't at all understand it. So when they physically connected on that 3D in the physical, the feminine wasn't as confident. She wasn't as, it feels as if she wasn't, it feels as if she was in this kind of illusion of some sort. It feels as if like an illusion of, it's reminding me, I'm just being shown this now. It was one of my readings when I was on about Romeo and Juliet. But as I was just about to say that, I then got Ansel and Gretel. It was so weird. I just got it, just Ansel and Gretel. Ansel and Gretel was that to do with Ansel and Gretel and the witch? Ansel and Gretel that was walking side by side through the woods, through the forest, in the dark, lost, searching for light, searching for somewhere. But it was all planned. This is interesting. I never seen it like this ever before. It was all planned. It was like pre-planned. And I'm picking up that it was pre-planned by that devious witch. It was pre-planned by the devil. It was pre-planned to destroy something. Okay? Now, the innocence of this male and female, it felt like this energy of the opposites. It felt like that polar opposite energy. But it feels like this pull. The pull is, or the connection is, it's like that brother and sister kind of connection. It feels like this, you know, I take care of you, I will protect you, and I will look after you. It's that kind of commitment. It's this unseen energy. It's not seen, but it's a pull towards something. And the feminine felt this pull towards something without knowing what this pull was. And I feel that this feminine, if this is resonating with you, I felt that this feminine had this pull towards this masculine. Now, she may have known him, you may have known your person prior to meeting them personally on a one-to-one, or you've heard about them. I don't really feel that you knew them prior, but I do feel that there was some kind of connection, as in maybe a dream that you had of this person, or maybe you heard about them just prior of meeting them. Okay, so what I'm picking up for the feminine was in this illusion, and this illusion reminds me of I just picked up Hansel and Gretel again as soon as I wanted to say now I can't remember. I can't remember what it was I was going to say, because it keeps on taking me back to Hansel and Gretel. Okay, so the illusion is the darkness. Okay, my guides are showing me this. The illusion is the darkness, and that's why Hansel and Gretel keeps on coming up. I can't remember the full story of Hansel and Gretel. I need to look it up, and I'll look it up after the video. No, actually, I'll try and I'll see if I've got some charge on this, and if I have, I will. Yes, I have. Let me put this on pause and let me just check, because I can't remember the story to Hansel and Gretel, so I'll just put on pause. Okay, I've got it. Okay, so the theme to Hansel and Gretel is really based on courage, cleverness, and sibling loyalty, even though they're not siblings, but on a soul level, it's all about brother and sister, okay? On a soul level, that is. But it's also showing the psychological, with what we have to deal with in our everyday 3D worlds is all to do with about survival, and it's about being courageous through the survival kind of instincts that we have to endure through life, okay? So it feels to me that the story itself is really about showing your own resourcefulness, about how to survive dangerous situations, okay? Hansel and Gretel was the first published of the Brothers Grimm in 1812. Now, the story remains a popular fairy tale worldwide teaching of children about resilience, problem solving, and the triumph of good over evil, okay? Because there's a reason for this. There's a reason for this that I needed to do a twin flame, because for a cosmic reason this is, and it's not, I was going to say biblical, but it's not in the Bible anyway, but as a cosmic shift of awareness to do with divinity, it's to do with individualization, it's to do with energetic alignment, it's to do with that spiritual awakening through that separation. It has to happen. If this is representing you, if this resonates with you, it still had to happen. So it feels to me that to understand your own resilience, to understand that it's like stepping out of that survival mode, and survival mode has been within that belief system from many past lives. It's always been a survival mode, and that survival mode, that chain needed to be broken. The cosmos is showing that awakening is to break the dynamics of that belief system. And so it had to happen. And so it feels like that Hansel and Gretel kind of energy, where they were in the dark, and in that, before the awakening happened, we are in the darkness of the illusion of everything you see is the truth. No, it wasn't the truth. 2020 awakened that. 2020 showed us that there are bigger things that's going on, and behind those bigger things that's going on is evil things that's going on. And when the more that you look within that evilness within it, depends on where you are in that twin flame journey. You've already been there, you've already understood it, you can see it for what it is. Some people who feel that they came into a twin flame journey, maybe I'm picking up around about 2018, awakening, the world closed down in 2020, that things then started to unfold with what was going on, okay? So every twin flame journey happened in, and I always used to say in batches. I don't know why I say that, but it feels batches. It's like you have these souls of these soul beings who made that soul contract to find their connection with their twin and to mirror, to help to wake up from that sleep, to wake up from that illusion. And it feels that the batch, and I say batch, I don't know why I'm saying batch, it feels very much like this alien source energy. It feels very much like, I don't know, it reminds me very much like that Anunnaki. It reminds me very much of like that manipulation, where DNA had been manipulated from, you know, what was it, a 12 strand or a 13 strand right down to a 3 strand. And it feels as if something had to have a massive powerful shift, and that powerful shift was going to be extremely intense, and that powerful shift had to be intense for it to, like, it had to happen. But the divine feminine had to go through hell. They had to go through hell for it on this journey, because it was so intense. but it was an agreement. It was a soul contract. It was an agreement that happened before ascending into physical form. Okay, so, okay then. So Ansel and Gretel is what I got, and that was the reason why I kept seeing Ansel and Gretel where I thought I was going to see Romeo and Juliet. Anyway, it was Ansel and Gretel, so thank you, Spirit. So Ansel and Gretel is what it was. It was two blinded people in their own illusion, and I really feel that the masculine energy didn't see the connection anyway. The masculine energy was very much in that emotional roller coaster of, you know, just adjusting to that player kind of energy. The masculine energy was just going to play with whatever was going to be unfolded. I don't know yet what the main reason was, but they're just good at adjusting to emotions. Maybe very intuitive also. The feminine energy was in the illusion, but she also connected into this kind of knowing, but not knowing. That's the kind of energy that I feel here. Okay. Now, what was mirrored between the two with the masculine energy, what was mirrored is that in their shadow self, they believed that they was never enough for you. They believed that they were a nobody compared to you. What you saw in the masculine, that they were just hot and cold all the time. You never knew where you stood with them. It was always mixed signals, very much pull and push, like whiplash. You haven't got a clue where you were today. The moment you woke up, you did not know where you stood at all. But for the masculine, they felt, I'm going to say, the underdog. They didn't know the core of their own being anyway. Very superficial, very player kind of energy, and intuitive as well. They knew how to tap into females' energy because it's a player energy. They had like loads and loads of experience with this, so they didn't look into it too deeply anyway. Okay, but that was what was the main thing that was mirroring. You was, and okay, so I'm just being told now, even though the masculine energy felt that they was not enough, they made you believe that you was not enough. They made you believe that you didn't fulfill all of their needs. They made you believe that that you was the underdog. Okay. What you projected back is that your emotions were so kind of open. It feels like kind of forthright, if that's the right word, is what I just got. It feels very open, but it was open enough for the masculine to manipulate, because they can manipulate emotions. But what the feminine did is that they were very open with their emotions. And because they were so open with their emotions, they was picking up this vibration of the masculine pulling back, because deep down in their shadow, they didn't feel like there was enough. They wasn't worthy enough of this pure love that you were showing. And because of that, what you were mirroring back to them, that you was hot and cold, because you was getting mixed signals with their emotions. You were picking up the undertones of their shadow self without understanding what it was actually about. Okay, so there's mixed signals. I feel that the feminine was picking up mixed signals without recognizing that they also felt that they was not good enough, and was also being told by the masculine they was not good enough. The feminine was seeing that the masculine was being hot and cold with their emotions. And so the feminine was also mirroring hot and coldness. So it became a conflict. They wasn't sure if it was safe or not safe. So imagine Ansel and Gretel walking through the forest, deep, dark forest, not knowing where you're going. Do you hold hands? Do you go separate ways? Do you trust each other or not trust? Are you going to walk through that deep forest and hold their hand? And are they going to set up a trap for you? Is there going to be a ditch, an hole for them to throw you in? You did not know what's at the end of this forest. You did not know this darkness. You've never felt this darkness before. You've never felt so vulnerable before. And vice versa. I'm feeling, while I'm picking up now, because I'm picturing the witch. When I'm picturing the witch is because it feels a curse. It feels like a curse, an energy that's been put on both of you because it was destined for you to be destroyed, to feel absolutely destroyed by this connection. Okay? But the divine is giving you a mission, and that mission was to find your purpose, and your purpose was only going to be accessed from each other through the connection, through the separation. It could only be accessed through that point of separation, through the intense emotion. Okay, but the devil was trying to entice you and make you feel insecure with the self-doubts, not trusting your intuition, not trusting your heart, not trusting what the divine is trying to tell you. You were picking up everything from your inner shadow of insecurities because it was going against what you thought was the truth, but it became the illusion. But you did not know. I'm going to go back now to the video when it first started, was that line. I don't know if you can see. There it is. There it is. Okay. That's what I'm being picked up. You did not know which side was the truth and which side was the illusion. It became confusing. It became confusing. It's like two worlds are colliding. It feels as if the unconscious and the conscious become collided, like it collide. Is it colliding into each other? It feels to me that this shadow self, the illusion, was starting to be seen, but it was still caught in the dark. It feels as if the ego was fighting against the intuition. It became so, I was going to say, contaminated, manipulated. It wasn't going to be an easy task. You forgot that that was going to happen. I feel that the Divine Feminine recognised to a certain degree, recognises that she was going to go down a path of least resistance. She did not know what that path was going to be. He didn't have a clue. She could only see as far as she was able to understand what is going on, what is being shown, because she had to keep on going back within herself of reflecting, mirroring, and because it's a divine feminine is the intuitive one. She was the one that had to trust in her own divinity, into her own intuition. She had to trust what the divine was showing her, even though she was locked in her own illusion of shadow self. So it was very difficult, but she was the first that had to see it. She was the first that had to see it, which was very difficult for the feminine, because how do you explain something that you don't quite understand? How can you explain something that you can't quite see? How can you make or help or guide your counterpart to see something that they are not able to see? How can they understand the feeling to it if they can't see it? And how can you express it? So very, very intense, in-depth connection. And it was a war between, I was going to say, the devil in the deep blue sea. That reminds me of something. I'm going to get that out right now, because I've got this sea. I've picked those for some reason. I just said that, the devil in the deep blue sea. And I'll get those in a minute. Okay. So the feminine did not know the depth to this connection. She did, but not express. She did not know how to express, because it was too intense. It goes way beyond what she could ever imagine. This has reminded me of a reading that I did, and I was always told this, and even though it doesn't quite work this way, but you know, when you're told that when you ascend into body, physical body in the 3D reality, your soul goes through the river of forgetfulness, okay? It doesn't quite work that way, actually, because what it is, we are manipulated. We are manipulated. And what happens also, maybe even tracked, and it's something that happens, and it's repeated. It's the soul repeat, constantly repeat and tracked of the progress, to make sure that you don't shift into that higher consciousness. These soul beings and the twin flame journey are different soul beings. These soul beings are, it's like that kind of energy of ascendant master, but it feels more of not like, it feels very much like that, not fully qualified. It's like you haven't got the you may have got the diploma to it, but you haven't got, you know, you're not a master. You're not a master yet. And it feels as if this qualification on the earth plane was to become a master. Okay, I've never thought of that before. That's quite interesting. To become a master. But to become a master, you're still going to be programmed to forget. And something had to happen for you to remember who you are and your purpose while you're here. Okay, that was the batch that had to happen. There's a particular batch that had to happen for it to connect and to awaken to the illusion of the matrix, but not just the matrix. It's to wake up to the evilness that is happening and always has happened on the earth plane. It's evil, but at the same time, you can't change that evilness either. People say that, you know, they are being exposed. People are being exposed. You know what? It goes far, far, far deeper than that. It goes right back to the Anunnaki. It goes right back, and you won't be able to change it. But what you can change is you can shift consciousness. Because when you start shifting those frequencies, they can't touch you anyway. They can't manipulate you. They can't recycle you. This is the energy I'm picking up. So it had to happen, because the human race has been constantly on a recycle. Where do you think that name of recycling the bins, you know, recycling? And the souls have always been on a recycle. And it needs to stop, because these souls need to transcend to become a master. It's even like right down to maybe a different planet. I don't know, but there was a purpose. There is a purpose for this. So let's go back to Hansel and Gretel. What was the point that I was at when I got there? The devil in the deep blue sea. Okay. Feminine feels that they are, it's like being out of your depth, but the masculine was also feeling out of their depth too, because they were losing control of this connection because of not understanding it, and vice versa. Okay. I just want to get randomly of one of these cards, and let's just see what energy came out from that with what I just said. Okay, Pearl of Wisdom. Embrace the wisdom of the ages and let the luminous light of truth guide your path. That is just confirming with what I just said. Okay. The pearl is a very, very special. It's very special. I think the pearl has been created by, it's like the pearl has been created by all of the, I was going to say fragmentations. I'm seeing it as a soul, really, but even though in the sea it collects, doesn't it? It collects until it forms its pearl. The pearl also reminds me of the moon. That's unseen, it's hidden. When opened up, once opened up, it is now seen. It's like the illusion. Once the dark becomes conscious, it's seen. It's in the light. Okay. That's the energy I'm feeling. It's the pearl of wisdom that was accessed in this connection. It's something that needed to be seen, and it's the wisdom of ages. To let the luminous light of truth guide the path. That's what had to happen. So the luminous light of truth. So walking in the darkness, in the deep forest, Ansel and Gretel, not knowing where you're walking to, and then being distracted by the evil witch of the gingerbread men or the sweets or the cakes and whatever else. And you know what children's like, they eat, mind you, I'm like that. I'll eat cakes and sweets and whatever else. But it feels as if being enticed, being encouraged for the sweet things in life, have the nice feelings, the nice taste things in life. And without using your own intuition, if it's the right way of going. It's the energy that I'm picking up. I didn't expect this to happen, but anyway, this is how it's happening. So, what broke up the relationship? What broke up the relationship? It feels as if the masculine or the counterpart, because on the 3D it's a counterpart, feels that you burnt the bridge, feels that you walked away without at all recognising that they burnt the bridge anyway. They ghosted you, they gaslit you. But what they see is that the feminine said their final goodbye. They're not seeing that they burnt the bridge to begin with anyway. But the feminine had come to the conclusion it can't come back together. It had to go in that separation because the feminine could not at all. It was too toxic. It was too intense. It was too fragile. It was too domineering. It was too... there's a lot of stuff that went on with that, and maybe I'll get that with the other cards. Okay, now what she's left with now, the feminine anyway, she's left with living in the memories, because she recognises he was never going to meet her. He was never going to trust her with what she had to say. He was never going to trust her and what she was bringing to the table. What she had done, she started to realise that she cannot trust him either, because he stayed in player energy. So now she's left in the memory of the past and replaying it and staying stuck in that emotional turmoil of what once was. The masculine is caught up in the energy and believing that you burnt the bridge. You was the one that walked away, okay? Even though The masculine will not take any responsibility. That his energy was very back and forth, no commitment at all, emotional manipulation. He will not take account at all that he projected onto you as the divine feminine that you was not enough, only because he felt that he was not enough in the connection. Okay, so I'll leave that there at the moment. So let's go now with the I'm being drawn to what lies beneath for the masculine. Okay, what lies beneath for the masculine? That back and forth emotional yo-yo that happened, that on off, and the confusions for the masculine. Okay, he was very sexual orientated, and that was his purpose in that back and forth. That back and forth was non-commitment. He couldn't commit at all. I was going to say he couldn't conform, but he couldn't conform to the reality of, I couldn't say illusion because you both was already in that illusion, but I said conform. Conformity. I don't know where that came up. They were in fantasy. They couldn't conform to a connection. They couldn't conform to doing the right thing, being the masculine energy, you know, the protector, the provider. They were caught up in this sexual fantasy without realising that the connection itself was sexual. It was a strong connection, but on a soul level. But they were still caught up in this fantasy. Manipulation, lies and control. Player energy. They didn't say anything different. They didn't see you any different. You know, it's not as if you stood out for them. You just stood out to be manipulated, stood out to be lied to be controlled. It feels as if when they saw you, when he saw you, he saw a potential, a victim. But there had to be a reason for it, because he wasn't going to waste his energy. There had to be something that you had that he wanted, because he never felt like he was enough. He didn't feel like he stood for anything. Maybe he was always broke. Maybe he never had stability. He couldn't be the masculine. He was like the little boy, the injured little boy, just like Hansel and Gretel. It goes back to this childhood, because this is all really based on the childhood woundings where it comes to a twin flame. Okay, right now, what I'm seeing right now is the masculine wants to set the record straight. That's interesting. I'll get some more of that clarified. Let's go with the feminine now. What does she see? Already knowing the tea. What's for tea? She already knew what was happening. Truth was being revealed to her by the divine. Her illusions was becoming shattered through the connection. So she could see what was actually going on, but not fully understand what it was. Authority, police may have got involved. Or maybe the feminine worked in authority, worked with government, or bad choices. I'm being drawn to randomly pick what's for tea. So just to get it clarified of already knowing the tea. What was it that the feminine already knew about knowing the tea? in their head, overthinking, stressed and overanalyzing. Groupie. Romantic love affairs, sex, fix, secret lovers. A happiness hater. Talking shit. Drama starter. This is what the feminine already started to say about. They were knowing. They knew that they made a bad choice, but the connection was already there. Where it's got the police may have been involved. But because of the mirroring, I'm not quite sure what that police was representing. And I've got a card there that's saying, setting the record straight for the masculine. Okay. Let's go to the what was mirrored. From what was mirrored, what was the outcome for the divine, or for the masculine counterpart? Envy. Red lipstick stains. Shit's about to pop off. Situations were about to explode. That was the outcome from the mirroring. It feels to me that he was envious. The masculine counterpart was envious of you. That's why they kept on saying that you was not enough for them. But at the same time, they was also covering their back that they were player energy. They was addicted to sex, fantasies. There was a player. You may have also found out that there was a cheat, player energy, and found lipstick stains. An explosion happened between the two of you. What is it that you saw in them? Hater. My card is scratching the door to get in. She hates the door being closed. That's interesting, isn't it? Hating the door being closed. It's like closing the door on the past, but hates closing the door. Fake friends was around this feminine, and these fake friends hated her. There was a lot of conflict. It's very negative energy. Putting on a show. Fake friends didn't believe in any of this connection anyway. They've never experienced it. They didn't believe what they were feeling from this. It feels like a duality. Because the player was still a player, and the player was playing the feminine. But the feminine was feeling an energy of this connection without understanding what was actually happening in this connection. Because it's like that. Two worlds were colliding into one. Two worlds colliding into one. And the feminine was getting very confused by this. Crikey, this is freaking intense. Okay. Okay, so what finally broke up the relationship from the male counterpart's point of view? Let me put this on pause and let my cat in. Okay, I've let the cat in. I'm going to just have a sniff around. Right, okay, my energies have gone so, like, hot. Okay. As I'm looking into burnt the bridge. Burnt the bridge. I'm feeling really hot. Okay. Now, the masculine energy believes, even though they burnt the bridge, okay, they believe that it was you that walked away. Even though you did walk away and it was a final goodbye. but they'd already burnt the bridge anyway. But it was just your final goodbye to let go. That's all they see. They don't see nothing else prior to that. So let's get some more clarification. What happened about burning the bridge? A divorce and a breaking contract, that had happened. Okay, that's what they see. Investigation. They are actually investigating you of why you walked away. That's interesting. They started to investigate why you let go of them without them even recognising that they burnt the bridge anyway. You was holding on to that burnt bridge, hoping to like walk over that very narrow piece of wood that hasn't quite got burnt yet. And they started to investigate you. Ironic. Okay. Bugaboo. Every single time I see that. Spyware. I'm investigating. Been spying on you all this time. Listening to maybe your conversations, maybe watching you, maybe you got your phone. Got a spyware on your phone. Maybe you got spyware or around your home, or maybe you got, it feels like it's cronies to check up on what you're doing. It just feels like this player energy is a player and knows how to play a game. This player does not like to be played at all, but they like to do the playing. Yeah, definitely spying. Okay, now for the feminine who's just left with memories of replaying the past, stuck in an emotional roller coaster of what once was. Remembering all the good times, but recognising all the betrayals, all the deceits, all the backstabbing, all the not to be trusted of the fake friends, the fake relationship, the player energy. Even though she's still thinking of the good things. It was a total drama and she recognises that. Total drama scene. I get this every time. The feminine knows that masculine in player energy, who is in fantasy land, cuckoo fantasy land, recorded videos or recorded information, because you've got bugaboo investigating. Okay, feminine knows this. When I'm picking up the energy that I'm picking up for the feminine, it's like, don't give a shit, whatever. She's accessed the pill within her. She's accessed the wisdom within her. She sees the truth to the connection. She knows that she went into it pure at heart, with pure intent. She can see, because she already knowing the tea, she can see what's going on. But she still felt this intense connection. It feels like compelled to stay in this connection. She's expecting now new beginnings, a new beginning. And she's keeping you a secret. This divine feminine is going to go into a new beginning, new relationship, a new family. And she will keep this masculine a secret. She doesn't want need to talk about it. That's the energy I'm picking up right now. She doesn't need to talk about this because she's healed from it. She holds nothing from it. She don't hold no pain. She doesn't hold no heartbreak from it, because she recognises, because she's so clued up, she recognises that if she she was holding on to the memory of the past, then it's like living rent free in the brain, and she's not doing that. She has now finally, because it's all about a final goodbye. Let it go. So it's like not that necessarily keeping it a secret. She just doesn't need to go. She doesn't need to explain it. It's not. She just learnt a lot. She's seen a lot. I'm being drawn to this card that's just over there. I choose me, self-love, emotional maturity, and a clean break. That was the one that I said, wasn't it? Okay. So she chooses her because the truth hurts. Even though the truth hurts, it hurt. A reality check, a wake-up call, and a clear vision. Real eyes, real lies. Seeing the truth. That it was all player energy. She recognises also that there has been a lot of stalking on her social media, watching, lurking, and secretly observed. She recognises also that this masculine or the masculine cronies or monkeys is becoming obsessed. But she's healed. She's not hooked onto the past anymore. She's found her freedom. She's detached and she's gained clarity through the experience. Okay. So let me just look at the time. Okay, underneath the deck is woke up differently, shifted energy, done, tolerating, and silent strength. That's what happened. The divine, or let's say the masculine counterpart, chose to stay in devil energy. It's like that Hansel and Gretel, isn't it, where they're now walking through the deep depths of the darkness of the forest, and the masculine basically threw her in the ditch and went towards the witch. He went towards the witch. I've just said that for a reason. He went towards the witch. That's like saying going towards a karmic. Don't know why I've said that, but I trust my intuition. So he went towards the karmic. Where did the masculine move to? The masculine moved straight into another relationship. Okay. They didn't mean to hurt you, but you are holding onto it. Forgiving helps you get past it. That's interesting. Kind of reminds me like they went into another relationship, like the witch, the karmic. But then told the karmic, they told the karmic what you felt about them. As in, let me explain, because I'm trying to put it into words so you could see what was happening. You could see the truth about this male counterpart, okay? You could see their player energy. You could see the manipulations. You could see the lies. But because of mirroring in this connection, the male counterpart made out that it was them that was seeing that about you. It feels as if the male counterpart was saying to their next person, okay, that they are forgiving you for what you did to them. Even though they were the one that was playing player energy between lovers. They were playing the energy, feeding the next person. I was going to say victim, actually. That's what it is, really, is victim. The player energy was feeding the next victim. Lies of who you were, when really they was talking about themselves. But you knew this. They're not willing anyway to settle down. They don't take any responsibility. They can't commit. And they can't put down roots. They're a show-off. They need to prove themselves. They are insecure. That's why I said they are right at the very beginning. When they first met you, you made them feel that they were not enough. You didn't do that. They believe that you did. They was envious of your light. They was envious of your purity. They was envious of your honesty. You had nothing to hide. They just wanted to destroy you. They're trying to start over. They're trying to end it. They're trying to end it with the relationship they went to. And they are moving on and they're trying again. The ex is back. The ex is back. They're two-faced. They're playing with your emotions. It's insincere and not who you think. Well, I'm sorry, but you already know if you're in this toxic twin flame counterpart kind of energy. And this is what has happened. This is how it's happened. And that's that conflict, that polar opposites. This is that all polarity. This is what happened between the devil and the divine. You know, the conflict. The masculine energy was not going to... they was not going to correct the errors of their ways. They wasn't able to, because they're all talk. They're tongued devil, big flirt, no action and player. And that's just exactly who they are. Okay? So that is what happened in that twin flame. But the twin flame, it's still your own purpose about what you're meant to be learning for yourself. Because you are the pearl of wisdom. Okay, so where else do I need to go? I feel that for the... let's have a look. Okay, let's just go here for a minute. Okay, for the divine feminine, because I will call you the divine feminine, because that's who you are. You are the inner alchemist. You are, like an alchemist, I hold the power to create a life of joy and harmony. Through the positive thoughts, words and actions, I manifest my own light. I understand that by using the inner magic of intention, I can transform myself. As an alchemist, turns lead into gold. I create happiness within. Underneath that deck, my creative power. I recognise the power of my thoughts to shape the world. And the door to infinite. The door to infinite is about the art that lies in the door of the infinite. The door of the infinite. The door of the infinite is my creative power. Live for love. And that's what the divine feminine is doing, is living for love. Okay? Divine Masculine, well, the masculine counterpart, they just carry on doing their playing with your emotions. They've got they're two-faced, they're starting over again, they're ending it and moving on, trying again. The ex is back. Maybe the ex is coming back into your life, or just moving on to another, because I'm seeing out adrift. They're just drifting from one to the other. They're still in that player mentality. They haven't woke up. They choose to stay in the illusion. They're, what can you say? What can you say to that? Okay. Okay, for the feminine, what's happening for the feminine? For the feminine journey with what's happening right now. Because what I did pick up for the feminine now, the feminine is, it felt like meeting someone. Where did I see it? Expecting a new beginning. That's where I'm going. Expecting a new beginning, new relationship, new family. Could be an high level soulmate. Okay. Okay, expect a new beginning, which I did say, a new beginning, maybe a new relationship. I'll have a soulmate, but now I've got the snake, okay? What came to me with that is that song. The other woman, look over your shoulder, very competitive and very competitive energy. Now that was supposed to be clarifying what to expect from this new beginning. It's a snake energy. The snake energy reminds me of that song, The Snake. The story to that snake is when a woman, a beautiful young woman that comes across a snake that's dying on the path, picks the snake up, takes the snake home, and she nurses it back to life. She makes the snake really comfortable and protects the snake from any harm until the snake feels a lot better, stronger, healthier. And the female started striking, and this is weird because I was only listening to the song tonight because of a card that I picked up that the snake came out of, okay? And that was around the time when I thought about doing a reading and I didn't want to do a twin flame. Now the song was all right. So the song was that when she then came back home, the snake, she recognised that the snake was better. She's really pleased for the snake, that the snake had got healthier and better. And she started stroking the snake and she kissed the snake on the head, and the snake bit her. And the woman turned around to the snake and said, why did you do that when I've nursed you back to health? And the snake said, what makes you think? What was it? What makes you think? What makes you think? Something like, what makes you think that I'm going to love you when you knew who I was, when you knew that I was a snake anyway? Goes right back to that player energy. The feminine didn't trust the intuition that it was still a player energy. It's like being connected to an abuser and believing that the abuser will not abuse them. But they do, because it's in them, because they're a snake. Now I've just got that clarified by this expecting a new beginning. Maybe this connection, because where did I see that? Ending it and moving on, trying again. The ex is back. Okay, let's just say maybe then this ex is thinking they can come back because of where you're at and you're on a glow up. Okay, Let's see. Let's see if he wants to be bit again. Let's see if you learnt your lesson. Coffin. A new beginnings, a rebirth, transition, and a tragic ending. More clarification, please. Clarify the coffin. Watching, stalking. Twin flame, yin yang, balance, union, duality. Okay, still a twin flame. But if the masculine counterpart wasn't able or couldn't learn the lesson, or this is actually showing now is the ending of the old ways, moving towards the feminine. We'll see. Snake is still a snake though. Okay. Interested in you and blooming romance, flirting, want to date, but heartbroken, deeply hurt and sad, feeling lost and grieving and despair about a breakup. Mirroring each other, self-reflection, introspection. That's interesting, right? So while you've been in your own introspection, you've been, because I'm just being drawn now right back to living in the memories. Okay? They are mirroring that now. They're making out that that's how they feel, but it's not. You've moved on from that there because you are choosing you. You've chose you. And because you chose you, all of a sudden, they've become there. Okay? Maybe they are. Maybe they are. But they still haven't learned their lesson. Oh. They still haven't learned their lesson. Or maybe they're mimicking what they think, what you've gone through, because they're intuitive too. They're mirroring, you're both mirroring each other, your self-reflection, introspection. But I'm not feeling this, when that snake came out, I'm not feeling comfortable with that. And that's like saying, do you trust this counterpart? Will they hurt you again? Are they still a player? Are they still a player? You've got to trust your intuition this time. You've been on your path of healing for a long time. This masculine counterpart maybe never hasn't. They're just good at mimicking. It's like, it reminds me of that, oh, what's it called? No, I can't think. Yeah. So I don't feel that this masculine has done the inner work. I think it's mirroring. They're intuitively picking up where you was at, all the work that you did, all that inner work that you did, all those feelings, understanding all those connections and what that lesson was about. They don't know that. Real eyes, real lies. Okay, that's what I'm being drawn to right now. Real eyes, real lies. They need to seek seeing clearly, illusion cracked, and awareness. That's what the feminine went through. But are they being mimicked? Get some clarification on the snake, please. Clarification on the snake. Don't like the snake. It's a fucker. Excuse my French, but it's a fucker. Okay, the snake is ascending, learning, expansion, transitioning and preparing for the union. A new phase. I've got to go with that then. Got to go with that. Maybe then that is shut. I thought I saw a spider on the wall then. But it is. That's interesting as well. Even for me to say that, because spider can also be like a spider's web, isn't it? Getting your claws up in the spider's web. Okay, I've even got to give my own benefit of doubt here, because maybe the snake is representing last year. Year of the snake. We are now in the year of the horse. Okay. Wedding rings, unions and marriage. Talking. Clarity and truth. Revelations. I've mentioned this before. The Revelations, the book of Revelations. It's an insane chemistry. The dragonfly. Finding out and changing things. Coming to light. Okay, coming to light. Something is coming to light. Something is going to be seen. Or the truth is going to be seen. Masculine is coming in to face the truth. Let's see the messages then from the universe. Let's just divide that. Messages from the universe. A chapter in your life is coming to an end. Rest assured that the beautiful things are ahead in this next chapter. Let go of all the things that was out of control and move forward. There are more beautiful things ahead than any of you. There are many beautiful things ahead than any you leave behind. It is a new chapter. Even I doubted it when I saw the snake. So I'm going back here again. Not willing to settle down, okay? Starting over, ending it and moving on. So it's moving away from... It's moving away from that unpredictableness. I feel, this is what I feel. I feel on your journey, you have got to use your discernment. You've got to trust what your intuition is telling you, because you have got the pearl of wisdom. Okay? This is about you trusting you. Not trusting what you would like to have happened, but about you trusting you. Trusting in the divine. Trusting in the information. Because this is a snake. This is a player energy. And a snake will still be a snake. A player will still be a player. Something about this that I'm still not quite sure. And it's like your past experiences, their words didn't live up to their actions. Okay? So you've got to be very, very wise in knowing how to move forward with this. It's like, do you test them? Do you see how, and find out for yourself, you know, just by you just carry on being you. You just be true to you. You be true to your journey. You be true to your path. You be true to what it is that you want to manifest in your life. This is not about you going backwards. You can't go backwards. The past is gone. Your past you has gone. Okay? It's about you trusting you and looking at this masculine counterpart and knowing, intuitively knowing, if this masculine counterpart is right for you. Is the energy right for you? Only you will know that. Only you will know. That's how I've got to leave it. I've got to leave it that way. I feel that this is what's happening with the twin flame journey. You're going to be tested. You're either going to be tested to see how far you come into trust you. You may hear from this person. Use your discernment. Yeah, that's all I can say. Use your discernment. You know you. You know you. But anyway, that's what I've got for you. So I hope you got something from it. It's nearly one and 20 minutes long. I didn't mean it like that, but that's the way it goes sometimes. So yeah, I wish you the best, and thank you so much for being here. So God bless.